All right. I think this is working. All right. Hey everyone. Let's see. Does this work if I minimize? It does not. Let's see. I'll just share my screen. Sorry. First few sessions we're probably gonna have some figure out tech issues. Can you guys see my screen syllabus? Is that what it shows? Yes? Oh.
Yes, we can.
All right. Awesome.
We can see your
Yes,
screen.
wait.
Cool. All right. For some reason, Discord doesn't give me an overlay, so I can't see if people are nodding. Maybe I'll move you guys over here. Yeah. So today, I mean, it's just going to be fairly relaxed today. Literally just going to go over the syllabus and just see if anyone has like questions, concerns, thoughts, or like if as we go through the lectures, if like people have certain things they want to add to what they want to learn, etc., stuff like that. And we'll also go through kind of some of the tech stack we're using as well, just for helpful reference, because this is like a big experiment, and we're basically trying to see like how many Web3 tools can we put in here to like help enhance either the data we get from the course, like the student experience, all that good stuff, right? So the first section is going to be pretty straightforward. Right now we're doing lectures every Tuesday, Thursday. For this week, it's going to be 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. EST. We will do more like Asia, Australia friendly times for the following weeks, just so people aren't awake at 2, 3 a.m. Yeah. So again, attendance is expected just because it'll be helpful for all of you to kind of ask questions as we go. And that'll also be good for us to kind of be like, all right, if there's a lot of questions on a certain day or a certain section, maybe we need to spend more time on it instead of just jumping to the next lecture. And then on off days where there aren't lectures, we'll do focus groups. So you can kind of think this of as office hours. And hopefully this will kind of be like 1 hour a day where we can all kind of focus on running through queries together. And like we can all actively help you all. Obviously we'll be around not during office hours as well. But that's kind of just like hey, let's set a set time. So that we don't just forget to work on these things. And on the first 2 weeks, we'll also have protocol presentations from our sponsors as well. Given like a lot of the focus groups and lectures are going to be focused around the protocol sponsors. So it'll be helpful to have presentations from them where they can kind of explain their app, explain their users, kind of talk about what they've looked at in the data, what they haven't looked at in the data. So the first week the first week's going to be pretty busy with lectures. Or not lectures, but just like presentations and groups in general. And all of this will be recorded, and I'll probably either for the focus groups and other set presentations, I might just upload it to YouTube or share in the Discord while we figure out Glass protocol. Yeah, so if you haven't looked through the weekly themes and lectures already, probably good to just like scan through it and maybe Google some things for fun. I think essentially the hardest part about this course, and this is something we've thought about a lot, is like, how do you kind of teach Web3 and SQL at the same time, right? You're essentially teaching a domain and a like two separate skills at the same time, right? So some lectures are going to be more Web3 heavy. Some lectures are going to be more SQL heavy. Like I can say tomorrow's lecture is going to be like 80% Web3 data and like just explaining everything about transactions, clients, data, and like basic queries. And like some other future ones are definitely going to be like, especially when we get to like advanced joins, window functions on partitions, like that's probably going to be like a SQL heavy kind of lecture. All right. But yeah, and I think we thought about that a lot when admitting students as well. So some of you all have like strong SQL backgrounds, some of you have stronger Web3 backgrounds. So hopefully you guys can kind of like in focus groups like help each other out with strengths and weaknesses. Obviously, the teachers will all be around to kind of help as we can as well, right? So the teachers for all of these lectures are kind of listed here as well. But if you have any questions about any of these lectures before we get to them, or maybe you're trying to move ahead and like try to do something for a future lecture, feel free to kind of like reach out as well. We might not have the lecture put together yet, but we can at least kind of help and give some directions if you're kind of moving ahead in the syllabus, right? And small caveat, the fourth week of this course is during Thanksgiving in the US. So we might do, I think like half of us are US based. But we might do like a Monday, Wednesday lecture format for that week instead of like Tuesday, Thursday. And we'll also give an extra week for kind of completing the bounties, just so people aren't working over Thanksgiving weekend. That'd be a little mean of us. Are there any questions, concerns so far? No? Okay. I think I kind of know how my college professors feel now. Anyways, so student bounties. All right. So I think we raised a total of 3.4 ETH, which is like, what is that? That's like 15,000, 16,000, something like that. So we decided to do scaling bounties over the next 4 weeks. All right. So essentially for the first week, 0.3 ETH of bounties will be split between all students. And that's assuming all 30 students complete the task, then each student gets 1/30th of that 0.3 ETH essentially. Right. And then that scales up each week up to 1.6 ETH by the fourth week, as the difficulty of output kind of scales up. Right. And if students don't complete the task, then other students just get like a larger share of that weekly pool, right? For simplicity, like qualification of the bounty will just be based off of like the teacher's judgment of effort during classes or during the week, and also judged by the output on Sunday of each week, right? And we'll obviously help with this as well, like because a lot of this is like showcasing and posting on Twitter, or on Mir or whatever medium you like to kind of post your content analysis on. So we'll give feedback kind of like before and after it's posted as well. So that basically you can think of it as like every Sunday you want to have your homework basically done, and like ready to post, right? And then we'll qualify you for the bounties. So obviously we don't want to just leave it completely open-ended. So we have put together 4 protocols with like kind of overviews of the protocols, as well as like anything that's already been done on Dune for them, like where their contracts sit. And like we've asked them for key focus questions, as well as like these are questions that they would like to see answered, and like they would like to explore more, right? So for example, I've split these into like mini and sub questions. So a good way to think about this is if you're looking at like index cube, don't start with the main question, just start with these like sub questions instead, to help you get a better idea. And we'll kind of expand on these sub questions over this week to kind of give more surface area for people to start on, right? So the idea is like the first week you just get familiar with these protocols. The second or third week you kind of commit to a protocol that you like working with, and like you really dig into their sub questions. And by the third and fourth week you should be trying to answer one of these like main questions. And if you think of your own main question, that's fine as well, right? But these are just here to kind of provide framework to like show how these protocol teams are thinking through some of their data problems. And I've also listed these 4 in kind of order of my perceived difficulty, I would say, in terms of like how hard it is to understand the protocol and the contracts. So you can kind of take that as you will. If you want to start with like Genesoft, that's totally fine. There's just more, I'd say that's like there's a lot of Web3 concepts you need to know in terms of token standards and like exchanges for that to make sense. But yeah, and this is, again, yeah, I think I said this already, but we're going to be expanding more on this page, and this is linked in the Discord as well. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions about this, and we do have delegates mentoring from each of these protocols in our Discord as well. And we'll introduce them throughout the week. Are there any questions on the bounty system / kind of like this protocol overview so far? No, we're good. All right, we're chilling. Nice. This is gonna be a breeze. Yeah, and I'll talk more about payouts later. We're gonna be using something called a mirror split, which is essentially like you can set certain addresses and certain like percentage allocations to this contract, and then anyone who sends ETH to that contract, then basically that ETH gets split by those percentages by address. So you'll have this kind of portal you can claim your bounty from. And I'll set that up at the end of the week. But if you are curious, you can read about it in this link. All right. Now for one of the more fun experiments. I think typically it's like, how do you log like if students are understanding the material, or like how are students interacting with each other or teachers? I feel like in college or like in school in general, that's just done through surveys, right? So we don't think surveys are boring, but like we think we can get more information than just sending you a click 1 through 5 survey kind of format. So we're going to be using a tool called Coordinate instead. And it kind of looks like this, where you have like all 30 students and all 7 teachers will have 1,000 give tokens. As a note, these tokens are not on chain as of now, and they don't correspond to any like monetary value or anything, right? So this is purely kind of like an experiment. And the idea there is like, if you have 1,000 tokens, by Sunday you should kind of like allocate those tokens based on like how much you understood the material and like who helped you out the most, right? So like maybe if like Kofi and I are the teachers for the week, you might give us like 100 tokens, like, and like based on who's helped you through the focus groups or the Discord, like you might give them more tokens, right? So it's like completely fine if you end up giving like another student more tokens than a teacher, right? That's like almost kind of what we're looking for, right? And teachers will give out tokens as well. And yeah, so this will just kind of give us a visual exploration, and everyone will be able to see a mapping of like who's giving to who. And I think that's just going to be really interesting overall to see how this like student social graph kind of evolves. I would say just don't overthink this too much. And like maybe I'll set some time on Sundays for us to like do this together or something. And I'll set reminders as well. But yeah, I think something like this is really going to shape the future of Web3 education in general. Any questions on this? Obviously, I haven't shown you the interface or anything, but conceptually, does it make sense? Kind of? Yes?
Makes
I
sense.
think I think it's super cool.
All
Just
right.
in terms of something completely different.
Yeah, we're going to be playing with a lot of interesting experiments here. But yeah, so that's a big one. I obviously success metrics. This is something we're thinking about a lot as well. These are kind of some of the success metrics that like we've kind of come up with. Obviously, we have some more. I think I call it student specific metrics here as well. I'm sure those of you who looked at the tweet and like saw our decision tree, based on like decision tree, like where you are in the decision tree, we probably have different expectations as well, right? Like for example, if you're like not someone who works in Web3, but you're like extremely experienced in SQL, we would kind of be looking at like, all right, how much did you learn about Web3 by the end of the course, right? That might be like a student specific metric. So not that this really matters, but this is just like, if you're curious, this is what we're looking at. And this last part here, this is technical stack. Again, this is note keeping, but like this is everything that we're using kind of for this course. This is just more notes for me for like when I do a write up of everything at the end of this to kind of help others launch their own courses and improve our own course. But if you're curious, this is what we're using. Trying to think if there's anything I've missed. I think that's everything for now from a syllabus perspective. Anyone have any questions about the syllabus in general, classes, timelines, teachers?
I actually have a question about attending class. I'm worried there's going to be a couple lectures that I just simply can't make it to. And I saw that you guys are going to post them online, but you have a week delay.
Right.
Is that going to be for us as well? Or are we going to be able to access them like the day that the lecture occurred?
Yeah, so for students, obviously we're just gonna update it, like upload it as soon as the lecture occurred. So that public facing is going to be a week delay because we have to figure out how to upload it on like Glass Protocol and figure out some token gating mechanisms. But yeah, no, for students it'll be uploaded like right after.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Cool. Boxer, I don't know if there's anything you want to add on your end.
Not really. What I could recommend all of you to do is like check out the like websites. Try to like if you can ape around a little bit like with Index and Genie-swap is still a whitelist, so you can't really use it. But try to read up a little bit on the projects. Like we're gonna have the introductions from the projects as well, but it's like try to learn as much as you can beforehand. It's really gonna help you probably. And yeah, really excited that you're all here and really looking forward to the next few weeks. Even in me, are going to be like in the Discord as usual, helping people out all the time. And yeah, feel free to reach out at any point. You're all registered on Dune now. If like sometimes we have like sign up troubles, it's like one out of 1,000 cases, like shit happens. So please do sign up for Dune if you're not already signed up. So if there's like a 1 in 1,000 case, we can still fix that until you know, like I don't know. It would be very good if you had a Dune account. Like it would be very useful. And yeah, do that. Try to read up on the protocols. You can try around with Dune, but we're gonna do the best to teach you from 0 to 100. So yeah, looking forward to the lectures.
Boxer, you sound like a robot. You might need a new mic at some point.
Yeah, sorry.
all good. Cool. Yeah, and yeah, echoing that. Yeah, anyone who just wants to start reading ahead about the protocols, that's probably the best place to start. Like tomorrow, I'll be giving a full overview of like where the data comes from, like walk through the Dune interface, some basic SQL. So after tomorrow, then you'll really be set up to kind of start digging around. But if you want to start a day ahead, obviously go ahead. We're not gonna limit you. So. Cool. All right. I think it's everything that I have. We'll open more voice channels later for anyone who just wants to like sit around and chat. Or like if you ever want to ask questions, you just at one of us and then we'll pop into the voice channel as well. But yeah, no, super excited to have you all with us. It's gonna be a fun it's gonna be a fun experiment. We're all gonna be learning alongside everyone here. So yeah, we're just very excited about all this. So cool. All right. I guess that's it then. I'll share the recording of this as well for all students who aren't here. But tomorrow we'll be getting started same time. Should be about an hour total. So that'll be fun. But only 30 minutes of that will be me lecturing. The other 30 minutes will be working together. So cool. All right. Have a good day, everyone. Take care.